What's up, my favorite people? What's up, Michigan? Well, today's Friday. Most of you guys know I work a week on, week off. So on my week off, I try not to be on here as much. Try to go do things with the wife, and so our schedules are different. But so when I'm working, I'm kind of on a schedule. So it's a lot. It's a lot easier. What's up, Michigan? Sorry about that. It's a lot easier for me to follow a pattern when I'm working. We might be up north on a week off or traveling or whatever. It's just hard to. It's hard to do. I don't know. I'm pretty nervous about today. I don't know why. Maybe because I know there might not be anyone on here with me. But and then I guess I'm a little nervous because I'm talking about myself, and it's a pretty serious topic, I guess. But I don't think a lot of people are talking about it. So don't know where I'm going to go today. I'll probably tell you a little bit of my story. So it's kind of like anything else, where with me, when I first started getting sober, I wanted to learn about it as much as I could, because I didn't really have an idea why I would keep getting drunk. I didn't know. I knew I kept getting drunk, and I had a counselor tell me one time, I don't get in trouble every time I'm drinking, but every time I get in trouble, I've been drinking. Wow, sounds like me. So the more people you can hear from, and this is just my story. It might not relate to you. It might not help you. It might keep you drinking. So the more people you can hear from, if you have a problem with drinking or anything like that, then my advice would be talk to as many people as you can, and you're gonna learn from everybody. You're gonna learn what to do and what not to do. Like, well, I don't want to. I think that guy's full of it. I think he just likes to hear himself talk, or he's maybe showing off the ladies, or could be a lot of things. It could be vice versa. So I didn't go to a ton of meetings. I did at first, but today I don't go to as many meetings as I should, because they do help, because you can talk about things, and even being on here, I can kind of sneak a few things in. Just talking about things help, and I was really never much of a talker, especially when I was drinking. So we'll get into that. I'll address chat here for a little bit, and we'll see where this goes. So today's Sobriety Friday. We're going to try to do this every other week. So I'll put the codes in here in a little bit, but I just want to tell you a little bit of my story. I'll give you guys a chance to call in if you want. But today, let's just make it about if you're sober and you want to call in and tell your story, just put it in chat. I'll put the codes in earlier if there's multiple people that want to get on here and tell your story. But not, let's try to keep it about being sober, or trying to get sober, or stuff related to that. I know Jerry has talked about it before. Jerry Foley, I know he's talked about it before. David Rodriguez has talked about it. He's got maybe a year and a half sober. I think it's a bigger deal than what most people think. But let me address chat, and then we'll get back at it. So, hey Meg, hey Kat, Robert, Red Dog, Tracy, Bonnie, Ben, Diamond, Sherry in the Ozarks, Rogue, Maria, Bonnie, our neck of the woods. Great show today. Work in progress. Another thing I want to tell you guys, if you guys are moderators, don't kick anyone off. You guys just promote your channel. That's why I make you a mod in the first place. I don't need you to kick anyone off. But on the rare occasion you do have to kick somebody off, like Becca did it the other day, it was blatant disrespect. So that's okay. But if there's an argument or whatever, just I try to keep up on chat. So you guys are mostly there just to, in case there's a real butthole on there, then try to get rid of them if I miss it. But for the most part, just promote your channel. Because I know it happens. It's happened several times. Someone got kicked off that shouldn't have got kicked off, and I'll make that decision. So yeah, just promote your channel. And then, like I said, unless it's blatantly disrespectful, Becca had to do it the other day. I didn't even see it. It was already gone. So I'd appreciate it if y'all did that. I think our neck of the woods said it today. You know, everyone's got a voice. Somebody was talking crap yesterday. 49 cents, I think. So and if you ignore them, they're going to go away, or I'll address them. So now they know I'm paying attention. But just sit back, enjoy, all that good stuff. So, hey, spring roll, Kathy. All right, so yeah, I'm sure there's a lot of good stories. I mean, like I said, I'll say a little bit, then I'll put the codes in if you guys want to call it. Man, we can get to that. So let's start out with this. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Oh, man. All right. So I guess I really shouldn't have done that because I got off my train of thought going over to chat, but that's all right. We'll get back into it. Yeah, so this is my story. And when I first started, like I said, I didn't know. I knew I wanted to, but I wanted 2 years ago, a long time ago. So I started drinking about 14. Right off the bat, I knew I had a problem. Especially when I drink hard liquor, whiskey, whatever. Get real violent. Just terrible person. So I knew right off the bat I had a problem with it. But I kept going because it's the cool thing to do, right? And you even see it today with 40, 50, 60-year-olds, in my opinion. Well, it's just a cool thing to do. Everyone's doing it. Well, when people say, well, drink responsible. Well, and today when I talk, I'm talking about myself. I can't drink responsible because once I get drunk, once I get to drinking, then my thinking don't work. It might be a terrible idea, but for some reason I think it's a great idea. And even being sober, I still got that problem. I just had on the way to work yesterday, I had this thought, right? So you got like the devil and the angel, and they're both whispering in your ear. And I guess it must have been from the devil because he said, hey, when you get to work, here's what you need to do. You need to get on the radio and you need to tell all these people about what's going on with the mask and, all this stuff. And then just say it over the radio. And I got to thinking, I'm like, oh, that's a bad idea. You're already kind of pushing the limits without wearing a diaper anyway. That's not a good idea, Jeff, So today I can realize my thinking, where before you couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. Touching on that real quick, there's about 4 or 5, maybe 6 of us that aren't wearing it. We didn't wear it at all last night. And I'm just not doing it. They need us more than we need them. And it's nice to have a backbone and be with other people that have backbones. So we're just not doing it. And when that time comes, and we'll have that conversation and we'll figure it out then. But until then, if it's this dangerous, then why are we even at work? But we're going to forget about that or I'll get off track again. So I had to, like I said, I learned a lot I was like in a 5 day a week, like a maybe 6, 8 hour class a day for 5 days a week, like an outpatient thing. And that helped me quite a bit because I had to figure out what was going on. Why I kept like I get drunk, I do something stupid. I'd be like, look, I want to quit. I really do. Because, you know, you wreck the car or you get a DUI or you get in a fight or whatever. You know what's going on. So what happens is when I start drinking, I would just picture it as a circle. So I want to get drunk. Well, that's really the only thing I think about is I want to get drunk. Well, once I get drunk, then I don't think. So you got to think about, you got to complete the circle. So the first stage, say 2 o'clock, look at it as a clock. 2 o'clock, I get drunk. Well, then I'm drinking from 2 o'clock to 6 o'clock. And then now what? Well, if I'm not home, I got to get home somehow. Well, how am I going to do that? Well, I drove there. I'll probably drive back. Well, that's a bad idea when you're drunk. You know, you can hurt yourself, hurt someone else, kill yourself, get a DUI, spend a lot of money you don't have. And then that could happen. So now you're starting to think the whole circle through. You got to play the whole tape through. Not just play it till you get drunk. And then, well, it's out of my hands now. See, a lot of people, and I did this a lot. Well, I just want to get drunk. All right, well, you got to think about when you get drunk. Are you at home? Do you have enough beer? These are the things you got to think about. I had to think about because I got a problem. If you don't have a problem with it, then you're probably going to be all set. You'll probably be responsible and have someone else take you up to the store to get more beer. And then, so that's a good thing I learned. Play the whole tape through. And I tell people that quite a bit. Don't just think about, when you start thinking about things, like even today, I can think about things. I got to stop thinking about it. So if I start thinking about getting drunk, I can play tricks on my mind. I can trick myself, talk myself into getting drunk. Well, you got to stop that. I got to stop that. Don't even think about it. Think about something else. All right. So on here, if anyone's got a problem drinking or smoke or drugs or whatever, I don't care, whatever. All right. So when I first started, I had to quit for like seconds at a time. So, because I would be thinking about it all the time. Like, man, I want to go get drunk. You know, well, if you think about something long enough, you're going to probably end up doing it. You're going to talk yourself into doing things. So you just got to think about something else. So I had to stop for seconds at a time. Like, you can hold your breath for a minute, maybe, right? Well, for that minute, you didn't drink. It's a start. So those minutes, seconds turn into minutes, hours, days. So, and then you just kind of repeat the process over and over and over and over again. That's how I had to do it. Now, some people could just make their mind up and stop and not think about it or whatever. That's them. But what I had to do is I had to stop. I just can't think about it no more. Or if I did start thinking about it, I'd have to hurry up and change my thoughts because I knew where that would lead me. So like I said, I started about 14. I quit when I was, 37. I got my last DUI, I got in a wreck, got my last DUI. And so it was almost 10 years ago. So yeah, just that's what I had to do. Don't whatever works for you, whatever worked for me, I just kept doing it. I'm only good for today. I'm only good for right now. I got to pass a bunch of liquor stores when I go to work. at first, you gotta, I couldn't go in the bars. I couldn't, I couldn't really, certain places I couldn't go. Um, you know, and certain things could trigger you. Like so and so say, hey, grab me something out of that cooler over there, but the cooler's full of beer. You know, you open it up, it's a hot day. You know, everything's perfect. You know, you might be at a beach, you might be at a cookout, you might be at your buddy's house working on something, cut down, whatever. Open that up, bam, hit you. You know, oh man, a beer sure does sound good today. You know, I can just have a couple, no big deal. Oh, stop. See, now you're starting to think about, all you're thinking about is drinking. So you got to think the whole tape through. You got to think about, all right, well, you start drinking again, dummy. Now you're probably gonna lose your job, probably gonna lose your marriage, probably gonna lose all the money, you're probably gonna lose your Harley, you're probably gonna lose your car, probably gonna lose everything you worked 10 years for because you thought about getting drunk. Stop thinking about that. Change the subject. Be thankful you're there. Be thankful that you're still alive. Be thankful for, be thankful you could go and do that. Well, you probably shouldn't be doing that. And at first, I just flat out tell you, no, I'm not going to get you anything. Go get it yourself. Some people look at you funny, but the people that, well, I guess I didn't really do that too much because right at the beginning, I was out of jail, in jail and out of jail and all that. So first 6 months, it really didn't affect me too much. But for a year or two, you still got to be careful. You still got to be careful today, and I almost got 10 years in. You still got to be careful, but you just can't. Certain things might trigger you. It might be the weirdest thing. So you're more likely, you're not just going to start drinking like today, right? So if I picked up a beer today, I didn't fail today. It was probably 2-3 months ago, and it slowly started adding up to this spot, in my opinion. Just like an accident. It's never an accident at that point. There was probably several things that added up to that point to make that an accident, if you really go back and look at things. And one other thing is you got to be totally honest with yourself, right? So you just got to be honest. You can't, because I'm one of the biggest bull crappers there is. If you guys already don't know that, it's just natural. I've always been this way. So I can talk you guys into a lot of things. I already know I can. But I can also talk myself into a lot of things. So, and since I've been sober, I've already talked a lot of people into a lot of things they probably really didn't want to do. But I hope and I pray that I got them out of their comfort zone. And I'm doing the right thing. I really hope that, because I can be a jerk. I can be short. I can have an attitude. I can do all that stuff. I already know that. I'm hard-headed. Tell me I can't do something, I'm more likely going to do it. That's just how I am. And I think most alcoholics are like that. Druggies, whatever. Addicted personalities. So there's a lot I can go on about. That's just kind of the tip of the iceberg where you really ruin a lot of people's lives just by me drinking. Not ruin their lives, but made their lives pretty crappy for quite a few years. Now, I didn't really go into a program. Like I said, I went for about a month. I went into like an outpatient program, and I did learn quite a bit. And at my 8 years, we got this block in Flint, Michigan. It's maybe 12 foot by, I don't know, 8 feet tall, maybe 10 foot by 8 foot tall. It's a block. It dead ends. So if you're driving down the road, you're going to see the block. And you can take it right or left. So I posted, I got some paint. It was on my 8-year sober date, and I went and painted it. And I said, 8 years sober today. If I can do it, anyone can do it. And I truly believe that. Well, then ABC News got a hold of it. Facebook got a hold of it. I might have posted on Facebook. And it went viral. ABC was talking about it. A few other, maybe world, I don't know. It went viral. And talked to a guy. He did the interview, and he was a addict. So of course he wanted to pick up the show or whatever, article, whatever. And since then I talked to him 3 or 4 times. He had a couple years in at the time, because usually, matter of fact, that day when I was going to paint it, right by my house, there was a kid that died in a motorcycle wreck. Big old truck pulled out in front of him, and I think the guy was probably going pretty fast. He couldn't stop, slid right into him. So I look off to the right, and there's a blanket in the road, bike laying there. And so then I went and painted that morning, and then later on they painted over my stuff. And I had a buddy ask me, "Hey, how you feel about that?" I said, I'm good with it. My stuff was on there. People seen it. No big deal. No big deal to me. It's just, I don't know if he was trying to stir the pot or what, but I take a picture of something. I do something, I take a picture of it. I got it forever, and I got it up here. So that guy's never gonna, I had a couple young kids. I don't think he was drinking. It was early in the morning. I think he was heading to work. I just think he was going too fast. So then that makes you think, hey, your time's up. Your time's up. So kind of rambling now. I'll put the codes in, and you guys can, if you want to call in, that'd be great. If not, then I'll keep talking. But especially this time right now, what we're all going through, I really do think it's something that I need to talk about, because, like I said, I never went to. I kind of did the whole 12-step in my head, and I kind of already done it, but I never really had a sponsor, and I went through all the steps, but I never really did them with a person, like a coach or a what do you call them, sponsor. I kind of do things my own way. I don't like being told what to do. So some people do, like, you got to have a year in, I believe, to do an open speech, where you can go into your home group and you can talk to people. You can tell them, hey, I've got a year, 2 years, 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, whatever. But I got to keep doing the same thing I've been doing. That's kept me sober for almost 10 years. I got to keep doing that every single day. If I get off track, then, it's probably going to be bad. If I start thinking about doing dumb things, or I start getting angry, like Craig and I started doing that prayer in the morning, even the wife picked up on it. Hey, you're kind of a better person doing that prayer thing. I'm like, well, I don't know how I'm already perfect. I don't know how I could be any better. I mean, but it does help. It really does. And then, believe it or not, I do learn from every one of you. I really do. I believe we all help each other. And we're going to bring Diamond Phil in. Maybe. Maybe not. Maybe. How's it going, Diamond Phil?
I'm doing good. I'm so glad that we get to see the real Jeff, because I like the real Jeff.
Yeah. Well, thank you. It's I've always, that's the kind of thing. I've always been in my opinion, a real good person. But when I was drinking, I was really I've done a lot of stupid things. I embarrassed myself for one,
Mm.
but I didn't really care because I was drinking. But my sister might be listening. I don't know. My mom might be listening. They kind of watch these every once in a while. They're just gotta be shaking their head, be like, yeah, you were kind of a dork for a while.
But they love you. They're your family, and they love you for, even when you're going through the hard times. I know I told you this story of my sister, who passed away. She was 27 years old. I mean, alcohol and drugs, just nothing we did, Jeff. We went through 4 or 5 programs with her, and it has to be that person. As a family member, you sit back and you can't, we did what we could going through the programs and everything and trying to help her, but, she just didn't want to. And like I say, I stayed with her the day we were going to take her off life support. I let out all my frustrations and then told her how much I loved her. And I wish things could have been different for her.
Yeah. Nobody can keep me sober.
Yeah.
Nobody.
You have to.
Yeah. Yep. David Rodriguez said something stupid a while ago, and I commented on his in his chat. I don't know if he's seen it or not. I don't care if he did or not. But he said something about I got sober for you guys or something like that. I said, stop with the dumb, whatever. I said, no. If you're doing that, then you'll be drinking here. No, I can't remember what I said.
Yeah.
But it was something like that. I said, you gotta do it for yourself. And that's the hardest part. Now, once I made my mind up, then that was the hard part. The hardest part.
Right.
It's still hard every once in a while. It kind of like, hey, better snap out of that.
Yeah.
But
yeah. No, I think I heard him make that comment, how he said he sobered up for his listeners, but he had Ted Nugent on last night. Is Ted from Michigan?
Yeah, he's a Michigan boy. Yep.
Or wouldn't he?
Yeah, he's a Michigan boy. Yeah.
Make a great governor for you.
Yeah.
Nugent on last night. Is Ted from Michigan?
Yeah, he's a Michigan boy. Yeah.
Or wouldn't he?
Yeah, I think someone's got their somebody's got their stuff going on.
Governor for you.
All right, are we good now? Hey, I forget what order you guys all come in, so welcome everybody.
I don't like hearing myself, so.
No, it drives you nuts. So welcome, Tracy.
Hi, Tracy.
Hi, guys. Hi, everyone. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
Good. I'm looking at you on my iPad, and there's a little delay, and it's sort of weird to see the delay.
Yeah. Hey, Rogue. How you doing, man? Might be froze up. Hey, Jeff. I might be froze up.
No, you're not.
You're good.
Well, it must be them two.
Well, I'm going to kick off so you can get more people on here, Jeff. So you guys all have a great rest of your day, and hang in there.
Oh, yeah. Thanks, Diamond.
All right, thank you.
Yep.
Well, Jeff, I realized I was an alcoholic a very long time ago. And, I grew up I have San Francisco behind there because that's where I was born. And so, my dad was an alcoholic. So I knew from the time I was a small child of alcohol in the family. Probably, I don't know if my mom drank while I was, when I was still in vitro or not, but possibly. I know she smoked. So yeah, a big Italian family I grew up with. A lot of Christmas party. My birthday's right after Christmas, so New Year's parties. And then my father was a liquor distributor.
Nice.
And
And audio.
Yeah, we hear you, Jeff. Hold on a minute.
Okay, now I don't know if they can mute.
All right, go ahead. I just muted them. We'll let them figure that out after. Screw them up even more.
so yeah, so it was always around. And then it was in the 60s. So I don't know if anyone remembers Rob and Laura from the Dick Van Dyke Show.
A little bit before my time.
So it was a TV show with Dick Van Dyke and Mary Tyler Moore. I think that's who it was. Yeah, wasn't it? And she was Laura and he was Rob. And they were a very, I don't know, 1960s couple. My mother also loved Audrey Hepburn. She loved her style. And then my mom worked at Crown Zellerbach in downtown San Francisco. So I had her in influence as a hardworking woman that, you know, really went high up in the corporate world in the 60s in San Francisco. It's funny because I just read about the company she worked for. She worked for a paper company, Crown Zellerbach, and that was owned by one of the Illuminati families, of course. So anyway, so yeah, then time progressed, and my father, you know, he's an alcoholic, and all of his tendencies for that, you know, were obvious throughout my whole growing up. And he died when I was 32, I think, of a brain tumor in a VA hospital. So he was only 57. So he was sober for 2 years before he died.
Nice.
So
Nice. Yeah.
that's good. Yeah. But he so I knew it. I knew I had those tendencies. But you know, I let it get the best of me anyway. And you know, so I was one of those it was social, always, you know, it was always partying. We were social, and then, you know, it just got the best of me, just like my dad. And I didn't drink for a long time, but then through, you know, stress and whatever, I went back to it. And God, I didn't think I'd gotta take this break. Gotta take a break.
Yeah. It's
Gotta take a break.
it's rough, but
All right. It's not showing up here, so okay.
Oh, sorry about that.
All right. Sorry.
that's all right. Just hold on a minute, Jeff. We got Tracy talking, so glad you figured everything out. Just hang on for a minute. We'll get
Not
to
a problem.
Thanks. Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, it's not easy, Tracy, but you know it does help.
Oh, jeez.
It really does, you know. And my dad was an alcoholic. My uncles are alcoholics. I'm an alcoholic. And,
Oh, I was just telling you the background, but I was
know.
just looking at this, and I was getting to the part where I knew that God stepped in. And that's, if I can show it, it's, which way do I need to,
Other way.
is the S at the bottom or at the top there? I can't tell.
I think it's at the top.
Okay. Anyway, oh, here we go. it goes like this.
All right.
Okay. So this is the folder of my Subaru Crosstrek owner's manual.
Yep.
Okay. So, God, I can't even get the words.
Love you, Tracy.
I've already done this, but I haven't said this in a long time.
All
God.
right. All right. Yeah.
Love you, honey.
Take your time.
So, coming home late at night from the casino by myself. It's about a 30-minute drive. God help me crash into a fence. And my airbag didn't go off.
Pepper mustard. Oh, that's good.
And
If we had crackers, it'd be phenomenal.
you couldn't really tell how bad the damage was. But I knew it was bad. So I called my cousin. It was, I don't know, 1:30 in the night. And she came and got me and swooped me up, took me home, left the car there, and got me in that, get in the shower. 4:30 in the morning, the sheriff came over. And I smell alcohol, booze, and by this time I'm out of the shower and I have my robe on and my hair's wet. And I said, that's me. And whose car is that? Is this your, yeah. Do you know that it's illegal to leave the scene of an accident? And I had no idea. And I looked at Susan because I said, Susan, should we leave? And she said, yes. So
We got to go.
yes. So I look at Susan and I go, Susan. And she said, oh, well, we were just going to get the tow truck. I mean, it's in the middle of the night. And so we were just going to get, and her partner's with her too. So, so I went in, I got my license like this, and into the house. And Susan came with me while Nancy, waited outside. And we came back outside. And the older sheriff asked, I don't know, they were talking, Nancy and him. And I said, so how old are you? And he said, how old do you think I am? And I looked at him, I go, oh, about 42. And he goes, oh, you're right on the dot. I go, good. So they impounded my car, gave me the information and left. The next day I had to go get my car they towed it to the repair store, the repair body shop. And it was over $20,000 in damage. And this is what I got back from it, right? I don't think I'm supposed to show this on, I'm going to show it anyway. So inside of it is the book, right? And it just happened to fit perfectly inside of that. And it just always reminds me of that this is my owner's manual right now. Always will be. Okay, so I did go, you said you didn't go, I did. And I didn't, I'm like you, I do it myself. I don't do the whole thing. And I've only looked at this a few times actually inside of here. This is all I need. Because God really helped me out that night.
Yeah.
And Susan was the angel that he sent. So it breaks my heart because I don't talk to Susan anymore because of everything that's going on. So anyway, I went to that place for about a year, and then COVID hit. And I hadn't gone. I mean, I was talking to someone I know that's really God, guys, it's so terrible. Really really had struggled with addiction, really, really bad. He's really, really struggled. I mean, with meth, heroin, alcohol, everything, gangs, guns, the whole thing. And he said something to me, you don't have to go if you don't feel like you need to go. I'm like, oh, yeah, all right. It's not a club that you have to go to. So I stopped going.
Now, when you did go, did it make you feel better?
Yes, I met a lot of nice people. Hearing them and like hearing you, we're all the same.
Yeah.
Different stories, but yeah, we all have I don't know, I'm convinced that it's something within my DNA and my genes, and something that I've inherited that I need to keep in check. And my husband has none of those tendencies.
Yeah.
So
Weird.
he's always been the one to carry me around and pull over and let me throw up out of the car, always enabled me to do all that bad stuff. And I don't blame him at all, at all, because, you know, he was helping me, he thought.
Yeah.
So
Well,
now that I've slobbered everywhere and everybody gets to see the real Tracy.
no, that's it wasn't pretty when you were drinking, and it's sometimes not pretty when we're sober, but it's way better on this side. I mean, it's night and
It's
day.
real.
So much better on this side.
You know, recently, living in Washington, we were thinking about going somewhere for just a couple days. And, you know, Leavenworth, Washington is really pretty, like a German style facade thing.
Yep, I've been there.
And I thought, oh, that'd be fun. And I went, oh,
Nah.
not anymore. Can only do so much mini golf.
Yeah.
So that's out.
Well, absolutely awesome story, I guess. Great story. Not however you want to say it, but
Well, I drank on and off for, I don't know. I quit when I was 2 years and 3 months ago.
congratulations.
Thanks. I apologize to everybody that I've injured along the way. I think
Yeah.
I've apologized to everyone already, but if I
I
missed
think I-
anyone and you see this,
Yeah, I think I got everyone covered, but there might be, well, there probably is quite a few out there I don't even know that I hurt, or it's sad. I mean, I never really want to hurt anybody, you know, but it's part of the beast, I guess.
that's right.
It's sad. It's a sad, like we were talking about how many people in our family that we hurt, and our close friends that we hurt. You know, they thought they were trying to do. They're enabling.
Whoa, something big just flew over my house. Well, you know, now my story's out there and I'm sticking to it. That's about as bad as it gets for me.
Yeah. Well, you feel better.
And I'm very blessed.
Yeah.
I thank the Lord every day. Anyway, so can I stay on, or you want me to
Oh,
kick me out?
Stay on. We got Rogue on here. I think Jeff P hopped out for a minute. Hey, Jeff, Rogue, can you hear us? Still might be figuring stuff out. Oh, you're muted, Rogue. You just have to click on your microphone or your video. Yeah, there you go, buddy. You're coming in now. Now you got to unmute.
Mm.
Just click on your microphone. That should be it.
There are there are one or two people that I don't feel I need to apologize to.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. Yeah, I agree. Like, yeah. All right, let's bring Lee in. She's been on here before, so she should get on pretty quick. Hey, Lee.
My glasses so I can see this chat.
All right, Rogue, can you hear us?
I finally think I figured it out.
Awesome.
Nice
All
to
right,
see you,
bring,
Jeff.
Lee. All right, that's all right. You should be good, man. Thanks for waiting.
Took a while.
Yeah, first time's the hardest, man.
Hey, I wanted to say thank you for yesterday.
No problem.
And I did, you know, I don't have any followers, very few likes, but I did a video for you yesterday.
All right.
Hopefully people see it and realize you're a pretty stand-up dude.
Well, I appreciate it, man.
You know me from nobody. You know what I mean? I've been in your chat a few times.
Yep.
And you've always said hello. And I'm going to take your guys' advice. I'm going to jump in this fight.
Awesome.
And, you know, about the sobriety thing, I'm a druggie from way back. Sobriety is an ever elusive animal.
Mm.
I've spent probably a year and a half, maybe 2 years total of my life in and out of different rehabs since I was 18. So I have definitely had my battles with lots of things. Thank God, never no heroin or nothing like that. But drinking was very, very rough on me. I've lost a lot of things to the alcohol. So I want to wish you good luck with your sobriety. I wish I could say I have had multiple days, months, weeks, whatever, sober. I'm not sober right now. I wish I was, but it is what it is. You know, I work tomorrow to see how tomorrow is. Actually, I haven't drank today, so I guess I'm sober today.
There you go.
Maybe
You
you're.
got to start with 1 day to get to 2 days. And you know how it works, man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, been there, done it a lot, man. And you know, what gets me is the euphoric recollection of the good times when I was partying and hanging out and the friends and whatnot.
Yeah.
And those are thoughts that I personally have to stay away from. Or else I'm back full blown. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Because I'm an addictive personality. If it's fun, I go overboard to the extreme. Been in trouble a lot, you know what I mean? Lost a lot of things, a lot of relationships, lost a son. Not to drugs and alcohol, but because of drugs and alcohol, he was born handicapped and we eventually lost him. So the struggle is real. So anybody who has got more than a day or more than a year, kudos to you. You know, I think I'm going to try today. I don't know how well I'll go about it. But we're going to try. I think I needed your video today. Been sitting back and wait on you since yesterday. I wanted to thank you personally because you know me from nobody and you did me a huge favor. And anything I can do for you, I will do. I'm down here in Cincinnati. I don't know how far you are from me. If you need a hand in anything, you just let me know. I'll be there for you. If you need moderators, anything.
Go check it out.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
And you know, I'm gonna try to keep to a time limit and say God bless everybody and let's all work together and network and try to become friends and let's take this friendship to the next level.
Absolutely, man.
All right. Hopefully I can back out of this without messing it up.
Yeah, it should just be a leave button for you, maybe in the top, maybe. But yeah, I mean, we all struggle with it, Rogue. I struggle with it. I can only give away, what is it? I can only keep what I have by giving it away. So I can only keep being sober by kind of talking about it.
Man, I'm not going to make excuses or whatnot, but since November, it's been very hard.
I know.
You just keep, I feel like in November, I was at the top of the roller coaster. Things was going well. And then, 9 months later, here we are. And I don't really know what to think at this point.
Yeah,
So-
we're all in the same ocean, I guess.
I'm going to
boat.
listen to you in Liberty, and I'm going to get in this fight, and I'm going to support you guys as best as I can and try to be friends and compadres. And like I said, you did me a solid, and anything you need, just hit me up.
All right, brother. Love you, man. Good luck with
Thank
the
you, too.
sobriety. You got it.
And
Later,
I'll be
people.
on every day I can catch you.
All right, buddy. Love you, man.
All right. Thank you.
Thanks. Hey, Lee. How you doing?
Hey, I was listening to your story, and you got this. You are strong. And my father is or was an alcoholic. Well, I mean, he's not drank. So my daughter's 22. I think she was 3 when he quit.
Oh, that's
Cold
great.
turkey. But he's a retired dentist, and I'll tell you this: the dentists are probably one of the worst about alcoholism and suicide. I will tell you that if you do the statistics. But anyway, what I was going to say is he quit cold
Interesting.
turkey. So I was around the alcohol. I drank. I was never quote an alcoholic that I'm aware of. But I guess I could have had tendencies. I like to social drink or whatever and stuff like that, but I can take it or leave it. But I want to tell you, my dad was very hard. His personality changed when he had been drinking. And at the very last, when he was trying to dry up, I can just, for instance, tell you that he and my daughter was over there spend the night with them. And my mom had taken my daughter to one of those little Disney movies, and they came back home, and my mom said the door was wide open in the back in the den, and our little Karen Terrier was out there hovering over him, but he was not. He had fallen off the deck and was laying there. And of course, my husband and I had to drive over there to pick him up. And of course, bless his heart, I was so pissed off. The whole town at Saline County could have heard us, in Benton and Bryan, Arkansas, because I was screaming at the top of my lungs at him, because I thought somebody could have walked in because the door was wide open and taken my kid. If she had been there. I mean, I was just freaked out. But anyway, the deal was he started laughing when I jerked him up. I feel horrible. I actually ripped his rotator cuff, and he ended up having to have surgery. But he's not touched a drink since. When he goes to parties, that he would just have like a Diet Coke or a Sprite or water, and he has not touched it since. It's not a day that doesn't go by though that he wished he could have a drink, because he says he taken the taste of it. He enjoyed it. It was just an enjoyment for him, and it helped him. I'm sure he was more strung out being a retired military. Desert Storm, I think that did him in. Here he was a dentist for the Army and stuck over in Germany. And they crucified them over there. Basically, they were doing all this backlog and all this and that. But my dad's a lieutenant colonel, retired lieutenant colonel, and the people that were over him, they were just living high on the hog, and they crapped on all over the other doctors that were a little bit lower ranking. And tell you what, military is not as what all it's cracked up to be. Sometimes if people need to know, there's a lot of darkness in there too. But that's started drinking harder when he got back, because psychologically, it just, an older man in his 50s going overseas like that, being called in and closing down his practice, losing money, trying to support the family. And I was in college at the time. I think that just did a big number on him. But the man is the happy. He doesn't talk about it, but he just doesn't talk about it, except for once, just about a year ago, he and my daughter, before COVID set in, had gone to a little restaurant, and Daphne asked him, Papa, what happened? And he said, I hurt my family. And that's all he could say. And he cried. So it's hurt him. It's because but you know what? We all have our crutches, and you got this. He's done it. You've done it. You're going to continue to be strong. Jesus, God's got you. You're strong too, Tracy. Y'all are blessed. God has called y'all to be woken up to this, and to know that there's an issue. We all have struggles, and it's our part of our lesson, I guess, in this lifetime. That's what I should say. And there's so many people out there
Absolutely.
that can't even come out of their holes. They're down in a tunnel, basically, and having a hard. I have a really good friend, an old boyfriend from high school, that has struggled, and he's gone off the deep end again. He's been through rehab in Little Rock. He lives in actually Louisiana. He lives, I'm trying to think of the little place that he's down in, not far from Louisiana. My brain just can't remember the name of it. But anyway, he calls me all the time crying, and he's wanting to get back out, out of his drinking, but he's having a problem. He also was doing drugs, and there's nothing I can do except be there and love and care and tell him he can do this and be strong. But it's the same old, same old. He keeps losing all his jobs. He was a truck driver, and it just, he would swear up and down he went drinking. And of course, he's wrecked a couple rigs, and he got fired. And then he's wanting, my life is to drive a truck. And I'm like, you're not going to get a job unless you straighten up. And, it has to be your decision. And I know he wants to, but he's lost.
Yeah.
And that's where Satan comes in, guys, pulls on us. And we're better than that. You've got lights there. You're not going to let Satan take over. You've got this.
Mhm.
There is so much more to life than this. And,
One thing
and I
I
know
learned
that.
is
Right.
one thing I learned from someone that was really influential to me while I was going to those meetings. She said one night, no matter what, drinking is not part of what I do, no matter what.
Right.
So, for instance, when my mother passed away, that was very difficult. And I was still drinking at that time. So now I can't say with certainty, but today I say no matter what, if something terrible happened, no matter what,
Yep.
Alcohol will not be part of the solution to get through whatever it is I have to go through,
Right.
because that poisons me.
Right.
So one thing, I'm an addict of everything, if you name it. So alcohol is the one, though, that really negatively impacted my family, my health, my financial wealth, not wealth,
Right.
well-being, everything. It destroyed me at the time.
Yeah. Right.
So, but I overcame that with God's help.
That's why we all have a story. And
He had to stop in and say, wait, you need to slow it down. Take a chill pill. I'm not going to have anybody get hurt. I'm not going to let you get hurt. But you're going to have to learn this lesson. And I've given you many opportunities to do it your way, but now we got to do it this way.
Yep.
Maybe this time you'll figure it out.
Yep.
And for me, that's what figured it out. And I think at any level that you're at, that's what it comes to.
Yeah.
At least in my opinion,
before,
allegedly and all that stuff.
Real quick story for me, and then we'll get to Jeff and Heather.
Yeah.
On my third DUI, I was getting ready to go out drinking. There was a Michigan game. I was going to go to the Eagles Club. There was a DUI commercial that played, and then another one played, and then another one played, back to back to back. I was sitting there by myself looking at the TV going, I know this is a sign, but, well, let's just see what happens. That night I got a DUI. Third DUI. Wrecked my truck, everything. I'll tell you that story. I already told it once, but I'll tell it again later on. But, yeah, let's get to Jeff and Heather. How's it going, Jeff, Heather?
Hey, Jeff.
Good. Thank
How
you.
you doing?
Great.
My
Hey,
second.
Jeff. Heather.
Hello.
Hi, Tracy. Hi, Lee.
Hello, everybody.
Hi,
Hi.
everyone. So I thought we'd come in, support your Sobriety Friday. I'll share a little bit of my story. I won't share my whole story because you don't have enough time, buddy. Love you, but you don't got enough time. So when I was 14, my mom, all right, let me start here. All right, so when I was 14, my mother had remarried. I had a stepdad, and I have an older brother who has a mental, just like a slight mental retardation. He's a functioning adult, you know, but you know, he has some things. And my stepdad hit him, and then my mom wouldn't do anything. So I went to the school. School removed us. They had CPS remove us from the home while they investigated. And then my mom picked up and left with her husband and just left us. So then they threw us with our dad. My dad was a drunk at the time. So it was real easy for me to fall into that because it was easily accessible. And I fell into it really hard. And by the time I was 16, I had almost killed myself with alcohol poisoning several times. And one day I woke up and I looked in the mirror and I didn't recognize myself. So, you know, I cleaned up. I got better for a time. And then I fell into other things. By the time I figured out I had an addictive personality, I was already at that point addicted to a really bad relationship in my early 20s. And that really bad relationship took me down some really bad roads. So God set me down for a real long stint and made me think for myself. And I discovered, and this is the good bit, I discovered that an addictive personality doesn't have to be a curse. It can be a blessing if you get yourself addicted to the right things, like God. Like for me, it was research. For me, it was research first, and then until I made myself, oh, I love you guys too. So I made myself sick with that. Now I have to watch myself. But what it made me was aware. It made me aware of other underlying things that I had going on that led me down those roads, that led me into those behaviors. And for me, breaking down my behaviors and keeping myself aware of that every day made it easier for me to walk away from all of that. It made it easier for me to understand those addictive patterns that I had. And I mean, I'm actually, I don't have a lot in this world, but what I have is so precious to me and so important, and it's worth more than money could ever buy. You know, I have a loving husband. I have a loving child. I actually have adult children too, but they do not speak to me because during that time of my addiction, my sons were raised by their father. So they didn't know me. They didn't know I was alive until they were 12 and 14. They didn't even know I was alive. And I get why he told them I was dead, you know. The most important thing with this and in your fight, the most important thing is every day when you wake up, you know, that prayer that you say that helps you be a better person. Don't forget to forgive yourself. Okay? All the forgiveness you can give to other people in the world don't amount to a hill of beans unless you can forgive yourself. So, like, you know, I have to keep forgiving myself. I've had to be doing it for the last 40 years or so, but that's important. I think that's an important step towards being able to not fall back into those thought patterns, because forgiving yourself can help you with not falling back into the thought patterns that cause that, you know, behavior. Just food for thought.
Yeah, Well, great story, Heather. Glad you called in.
Yes.
Thanks for having us, Jeff. Thank you, Tracy. And thank you guys for getting up here and sharing your stories, because it's important that other people know they're not alone in this,
Yeah.
you know? It's
Right, and
important that you know that you're not suffering this by yourself. There's other people too. And I don't feel like I suffer anymore, because I don't have those addictive behaviors like that anymore, because I was able to, through a long, hard, and I had to dedicate myself to myself and my growth to get away from that. And certain things don't ever leave you. I will say I want to quit smoking cigarettes. I still smoke cigarettes. I wish I could battle that one off like I did the others. But the others I knew would kill me, and I learned that real quick. So that was easier to battle off, because I love my life, you know?
Yeah. Well, you guys are not alone, and
Absolutely.
we got to form some kind of a online support group within our Patriot family here. If anybody needs us, to be able to connect with somebody, one of us,
Yeah.
any one of us.
When the whole thing happened last year, the meetings that I was going to ended abruptly, and they started the Zoom meetings. I never attended. I just didn't see the point at that point. The interaction wouldn't be the same.
Right.
So, and
Well,
I think I was far enough along that,
when you say that about doing the Zoom meetings for the rehab, that kind of support groups like that, the way I understand it, the way I perceive everything is, since they locked everybody down for this quote COVID or whatever, excuse me, the C word. I forget I'm on live. That was like the devil. That's what the deep state, that's what they wanted. They wanted to lock us down, so get rid of some of us and the humanity. That they don't care. And that's why, there's so much negativity in the homes when you're locked in your home, and suicide and alcohol and drugs and you name it, all the stuff that goes on.
my dog.
And I think that's all tied in together. And everybody's going to beat this. We're stronger than that. Our humanity is so much stronger than that, because we got God on our side. They don't. I'm talking about the demons. So you got this. So always remember, when you get down, God's on your side and God wins. If that means you're going to win.
I used to say things like, when we go on vacation, I'm going to sit by that pool. I'm going to go to that. Like if you're going to Vegas, I'm going to go get one of those giant blended
Umbrella drink.
Mai Tai margarita things. And I'm just going to do that all day long, right? There is no vacation when it comes to this kind of stuff. You don't get a vacation. You just gotta, it's a lifestyle change. You have to,
Right.
like Heather was saying, figure yourself out. That's what it's about. And once you never really, I mean, I haven't known anybody that's.
When you say vacation, just,
I don't know.
right. When you say vacation, just remember, say if you're going to the beach, embrace all the nature. That right there should be your alcohol and your drugs or
Yeah, I
whatever.
don't even think
Is
about
looking
it
at all
anymore.
the beautiful waves. That should be the addiction.
I'm lucky though, my husband doesn't, he could have a beer, but he doesn't, because he knows that it's hard for me. So
It's weird. It's just weird for me. People like that are just weird to me. I don't understand, but I guess I'm weird to them. But
part of it's how we associate too, those memories. If you're associating them with fun times and good times, then it is going to be a harder fight for you. If you want to get rid of it, Jeff, go back to thinking about what you almost lost.
Yeah.
If you think about what disappears from your life while you're doing it, and you change your perception, stop, I used to know people when I went to meetings for a little bit in my youth when I felt like I needed it. And it used to make me so mad because people would glorify it. You know, they glorify their stories. They were telling their good war stories and this happened and that happened. And if you glorify it, you're going to fall back into it because you got stinking thinking, right? So,
Yeah.
I mean, part of it's changing that thinking. If you can change
That's right.
that thinking, you can look, God is in everything. So that means God is in us. Am I wrong?
That's right. That's
Yeah.
right. You're correct. God
Okay.
is in you.
Heather, I have a question. Do you think
ahead.
that society has changed their outlook or their look at drugs, alcohol? Do you think the perception of it being cool is still the best? You know, I still see it in commercials where, you know, you're going to be the most beautiful woman on the beach and having a party with all your friends, with all your drinks and everything. I see that in commercials. But do you think that people still think it's that cool still?
I think maybe it starts out as a cool thing for younger people, but once you get older, I think what it is our society, all right, they've lied to us about a lot of things, but one of the most serious things they've lied to us about is that everything is a disorder. Everybody has an excuse. And I don't mean that in a bad way. Please don't take that personal, anyone.
Yep.
I mean, don't give yourself an excuse because you're the only one that can do it. Nobody can do it for you. Okay? I am living proof. If you don't end up dead, you will end up in jail. Guess how I know that? Right? That's how he set me down. He set me down in a real hard manner for a real long time. And we're all going to we have to work on ourselves on a daily basis. You can just pick one little tiny thing. It doesn't have to be a big thing because you are never going to get to a big thing. You're going to get overwhelmed. You pick one little tiny thing, you know, stop. Like when I remember this was one of my things. I would look in the mirror and I was trying to get back to where I looked in the mirror and could recognize the person staring back at me. And it took me a long time to get there, but I figured out that problem in itself was too big for me to take on head on. So I had to start with little things. I had to start with stop negative talking myself.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's a gray hair. Oh my God, you got gray hair. You're only 25, girl. You know, I would tell myself that stuff.
Mhm.
And then it turned into, you know what? Oh, look at that. Oh, your hair's silver like your grandma's was. Oh, that's beautiful. And then, you know, it slowly over time, me telling myself the same thing in a different way, you know, putting that different perspective on it, changed how I felt about who I am. And that helped me to overcome a lot of those addictive behaviors that I had, you know, because I had to learn by slow and small degrees how to be thankful for what God gave me. I had to learn the hard way. So
Oh,
if that
yeah.
can help somebody else, I hope it can, you know, I really do. I just want, my whole thing is I really want to help others. And at some point I would like to share my story out because I feel like it will help others. And I feel like specifically it can help young women from falling into the same kind of relationship that I fell into. And I don't know how to go about that yet. I have forgiven him, and I've forgiven myself. And it took a lot for me to get there, but I'm still emotional about it. So somewhere in there, I have to figure that out. Why is it still so emotional for me to even talk about?
Mm. I feel, yeah, from, you know, alcoholism is a hereditary for me, but it's also just a symptom of
Something
whatever
else.
it is that we all suffer from.
Yeah.
inside our souls. So yeah, it's always going to be a journey. I think it's supposed to be that way.
Yeah. And if you guys, I mean, if you get to a point where you're considering picking something back up because the weight or the pressure or the depression, okay, of things and happenings that are going on in your life, walk outside, lift your head physically up and look into the sky. Look up at the sky. I don't care what your weather is. It has been proven to help. It does. You hold your head up until your spirit lifts, because it will eventually, but you have to be willing to go out there and do that, you know? And sometimes it's as simple as that. And I know that sounds silly, but I promise you, I've had to use that method. I was diagnosed as a manic depressive a couple years, about 20 years ago. And they had me on medication for a little bit, and I couldn't stand it. I couldn't think, you know, I couldn't think at all. So
Wow.
I didn't have any emotions, and that was scarier to me than having manic ones. And so for the last 20 years, I haven't had medication for that. I found other ways to work with it without falling back into those addictive behaviors. And part of that is going outside and standing barefoot. Part of that is going outside and lifting my face up to the sun.
Yes.
And standing there like that until my spirit lifted. And let me tell you, when I first started doing that, I got quite a few sunburns, but it was worth it because it worked.
It helps. Yes.
So, I mean, there are things that we can do, but I think one of the biggest is how we self-talk. Because I think if you think about it, it all starts with that self-talk.
It does.
So, you know, that may be a place to start for some people, and I hope that helps.
Thank you, Heather.
Yeah, I like what you've done here, Jeff. I really do. I've never been a heavy drinker. I have drank, I still drink a little bit, but my drinking is New Year's Eve. That's the only time of year I really drink. I don't, I will say this year was back in 2020 when on January 6th, when we were waiting for the results of everything to come out, because good old T, you know, we were happy to see what was going on, but that was the last time, you know, I've had a drink. Now, me being an alcoholic, coming down to that part, just real quick, my dad was the alcoholic in my family. My brother and I have watched my dad beat the living snot out of my mom, treat us badly, beat my brother, broken my ribs. So when I knew when I was growing up, I was not going to be like my father. I love my dad dearly, but I was not going to be along the same path that he was leading himself on his self-destruction. Now, I don't, I give him a little bit of a leeway, just a tiny bit, only because when he came back from Vietnam, he was a wreck. Now, a little bit of that I give to him because of the fact that they didn't give those men anywhere to go to really were able to tell their stories of what happened overseas. And a lot of it they weren't allowed to even speak about because they were forbidden to talk about it. It's an NDA. So they had to keep a lot of stuff inside until one night, Dad told me a horrific story about what happened to him and what he had to see. And at the age of 14, my mouth just dropped to the floor. And then I understood why my dad drank. And I'll give you a small little snippet, and that is he had to witness they were flame throwing over there, and he was getting village people that they were bombing out. And as they were doing that, he was grabbing children that they didn't care. They didn't care about the Vietnamese. And that was the Vietnamese on the Vietnamese, not even Americans on the Vietnamese. And it was like, oh my, you know, he's explaining this to me and his skin dripping off of him. And I'm not trying to get gross or anything, but I can now understand why he you can't unsee those things once you see them. It's just like these people saying, I want to go see this stuff and I want to see all the, there's some things you might not want to see. There are just some things out there you may not want to see, and just take it as it is, because some of these children out there and adults that have been trafficked have been treated so poorly and badly. It's just it's just not right. It is not right. It is so inhumane. It's unbelievable.
I
But
agree.
when it comes down to my
There are
dad,
things you can't unsee.
yeah, there's just some things you can't unsee. Now, when it comes to
Right.
my dad, I still love my father dearly. Even at his funeral, my sister got up there. This is later on in life. I had a little sister too, because he remarried. But she got up on that podium and she flat out said, "My dad might be an asshole, but he's still my father. And I love him dearly," because he had an alcoholic problem. He started at noon, no matter what. On his day off, it was noon until 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning, drinking a 12-pack to 24-pack, along with a bottle of Jim Beam, a wild turkey. And it was every day. And it was there was nothing we could do about it. And I had to see that all up until the day he died. And it hurt. It really hurt. But I will first say one thing. He did sit me down before he died, and he really genuinely apologized for everything he had put my brother, my sister, and I through, and my mom. No matter how much he hated my mom and my mom hated him, they still took care of us, regardless of the situations that they were both in. But they still focused our lives as ahead of them to make sure we were put forth in a better place. And my brother and I and my sister, we don't drink very often at all. My brother does drink a little bit more often. He's not really an alcoholic. He has a drink or two a night, and then that's it, because he's got a job and he's got to be up in the morning and whatnot. But we don't let it. For my wife and I, I'll put it this way: for my wife and I, we don't want it to be around our child either. So even when we're around a group of people and it starts to get a little on the, that transition between everybody having a good time and then you just kind of know when it starts to get a little heavier, that's when we take our child and leave, because we know that's when people start to be a little bit more loose with their mouths, their attitudes, and that's not who you are really. It's the alcohol, So I don't know where I was kind of going with this, but the general sense of it is I had to see it from the other side, and working with a father that was like that, or growing up with a father that was like that. Like I said, he made sure we were taken care of, food, fed, home, roof over, everything you could think of. But when it came to the alcohol, it was the second most important thing in his life. Children first, kids next, job as well as on the second part, because he had to be able to feed the monster, per se. But it's I don't know. It really makes you think when you see those kinds of things, because when you look at your own children and realize the innocence and what they grew up without, and then once they hit that childhood of the teenage years of wanting to fit in with the other kids and not wanting to be the one that's on the outside, so you want to fit into the group. So what do? It's that peer pressure. It's that, it goes right into that, and then the next thing you know, they're drinking behind your back, trying to hide it from you. We all know the road. I mean, we all kind of know that road.
Can I
And
just
it's
say?
not easy.
Can I just say one more thing before
So
you
I have
shut
much
us up?
respect for all of you. I really do. I really have a lot of respect for all y'all. That
You as
is-
well, you guys. Thank you.
So, and everybody's different. Jeff has his reasons for why.
Absolutely.
My wife, Tracy, you had your incident for what you finally got you to, God's making you sit down and sit, as well as anybody else that's out there. And it's not an easy road. It is not an easy road. I think this platform right here that Jeff has started, going now to every other Friday, I think it's good. I think it's a good thing for people to be able to come in and be able to relieve the pressure in their mind and to be able to talk it out and hash it out with like-minded other people. That's all I gotta say.
Thanks, Jeff.
Jeff, can I say one more thing before you cut us off? I know we've been talking. I'm sorry. I just want to say, you know, we're talking about drinking right now, but there are more addictions than just drugs, you guys.
Oh,
And
Oh.
I think that needs to be established. And by the way, Stony Girl, I agree. No worries. Look, God gave us all the plants in the world. He told us that in Genesis, right? I give you every seed-bearing plant. And there are medicinal purposes for a lot of plants, that one included. And I think that some people over exaggerate that, and I think some people underestimate the power that can have for healing, because a lot of times when you deal with addiction, it's something in the mind. It's in the mind complex, and our bodies are designed to use cannabinoids in such a way as to calm our mental and emotional complexes.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's just like with everything else. If you're not abusing, right? Because people are addicted to prescription medication too, and they think it makes it okay. And I'm not saying anything bad about anybody, but you know, that's one of the most deadliest addictions out there. Honestly, prescription medication, the withdrawal from that can kill you.
wow. Yeah.
You know? So, and it makes it a little bit harder. So, I mean, there are a lot of different addictions out there. Drinking's not the only one. And I
think it's interesting how the elite and the powers that rule the world have brought these poisonous things into our lives, and accept not the cannabis so much. That was always like, remember reefer madness?
they made that up on purpose. That was
Yep.
indoctrination.
Yep.
Because, and you know why they made that illegal? They made it illegal simply because it did not, it was direct competition to the cotton plantations, and the people that owned the cotton plantations wanted their money. This has
Because
been
of the
going on
hemp?
for a very long time.
Yeah. Because of the hemp.
Yep.
Our
Mhm.
drywall, rope, wood, burlap sacks, clothing, all used to be made out of hemp and certain other
Mhm.
things besides
Yeah.
cotton.
So anyway, thank you for letting us speak and share our stories.
Thanks for coming on.
Yeah. Thanks, Jeff.
Yeah, I can't cheat with the marijuana, but I will tell you this: if I ever get the C word, six letter word, then I will be going the healthy route. I'm not going to get chemo.
Mhm.
I'm doing everything healthy. And
Good.
just like I think Heather, you said that God already put every medicine on earth for us.
Yes.
If you smoke dope, that's not, it's 1,000 times better than alcohol. So I don't judge
Yes.
it. Look, this is my problem. This is not no one else's problem. It's not Tracy's problem. It's not Lee's problem. It's not Jeff and Heather's problem. This is my problem. So you don't have to say that, well, I only drink a little bit. I don't care. That's your problem, or it's not your problem. But this is the problem I have, and I recognized it. Thank God. And now
Yes.
God, I need to get the story out, and it helps me by talking about it. Tracy said it earlier about living life on life's terms. In the beginning, I didn't have a clue about that. I didn't know what that was. And then my stepdad was getting ready to die from drinking, and I had to go down there and deal with that. Well, I had to go down there and deal with that sober, and I never dealt with anything in my life sober, so I didn't want to go down there. I think I kind of already told you guys the story, but I didn't want to do it. But I did, and thank God I did, because I think I helped quite a bit when I was down there, because I had a clear mind. I was 6 months sober when I had to go down there and do that.
Mm.
And that's amazing. And you know, like I said earlier, Jeff, it's a struggle, and you know, we're here to help you. We're here to build up all of you, you know, in any way that it takes. And I think your Sobriety Friday is it's perfect, man. It's right on. You're doing a great thing here.
Yeah,
And any way we can help you, we will.
well, you already did. You got on here and you gave your story. So, like I said, there might be people on chat or watch this later that go, for some reason, somebody's going to watch this video and one of our stories is going to click in their head and they might not drink for the rest of their life. You guys might not know about this for 6 months, a year, 2 years, maybe never in your whole life. But you guys did help somebody today. Remember that.
And so did you.
Yep.
Don't you forget either.
I just want to reiterate because it really helped me when I was, when I lost my dad, what was 10 years now? 10 years now. Is that the week before he had passed is the fact that he stepped up himself and apologized, genuinely apologized to my brother, me, and my
helps.
sister. And he called my mom and said it too for the things that stuff. So keep that, it makes a big difference. Oh, what a cutie.
No, isn't it beautiful?
That's Elvis.
Elvis, he's alive.
That's right. So he actually is alive. He lives in Benton, Arkansas, after Bob Joyce in my town. So actually, I haven't been to church yet. Daphne and I keep talking about going. And I said before he exposes himself, we'll probably miss out because we haven't driven 10 miles to go to the church there. But he's a beautiful soul. I watch him on the Sundays a lot. So, and
Awesome.
I'm in town, but I haven't actually just walked up and introduced myself. Just don't want to.
Me too. Me too.
Yeah. What are you doing, Daphne?
All right. You guys got any last words real quick? I got to get going.
I just
gotta
want
go
to
to work
thank you, Jeff. Thanks for having me on today.
Thank you,
I
Tracy.
appreciate it. And Jeff and Heather, thank you for sharing your
Oh.
stories.
Absolutely.
And it's always helpful to hear others
Perspective. It helps.
as well. And thank you everyone for watching me slobber all over the place.
Thank you all for sharing. And thanks for having us, Jeff.
Yeah.
We love you.
Thank you guys.
The oneness war. Don't you forget that. Always
Bye.
remember, and then love conquers all. And God has got your back. He's got all of our. So just remember, God is in all of us.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And next week, by this time, hope to God that the EBS system doesn't come on while I'm down in Orange Beach. But I hope to show y'all the beach when I get down there.
All
I hope
right.
come on, and Jeff may put me in jail for being down on vacation without and not let me. But I wanted just to let y'all hear the waves.
Yeah. It's special. Yeah.
Yes. Well, I won't
All right.
keep you.
All right.
Wonderful show today, Jeff.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thanks for being on.
You all are loved. We love you here in Arkansas.
All right. Well,
All right. Y'all have a good day. We'll see you later on.
all right.
Okay.
Love y'all.
Love you. Here we are. There we go.